Hello, Paula.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight because I think everyone that we've spoke to has just absolutely loved the book. And I've got a few questions that have come in from the community, and I know that the ladies joining us will have a few as well. So tell us about you. Let's kickstart by telling us about you.
God, which one? You know, I hate talking about myself. This is why I write people.
tell us, tell us everything. Tell us what you do. Like what's your full time hustle? Had you
So
always
just
wanted to
now
write
my
a book?
full-time hustle. This is my full-time hustle.
Yes.
I've scrapped everything else and I'm just trying to focus on making this work. So just turned 30 as well. So I'm just like, why not? Let's try it.
Yes, I love the pure epiphantic moments that you get when you're 30 and you're like, I need to just do something that I want to do because this is the time. Right, amazing. So this is your full-time hustle, right? So had you up until the point, so how long ago did you publish the book?
So I self-published the book in August last year.
In August last year, right? And had you always dreamed of being an author, being a writer?
Absolutely. Always since I was a lassie, I used to like think I was like pure amazing, folding up bits of A4 paper and writing mad stories and then dishing them out to all my family as if I was great. And I just kind of, it never really left me, but I got into other stuff. Like I went into retail and I studied journalism briefly and then I dropped
Yeah.
out. I didn't really want to write about real things in the story. I wanted to make stuff up. So um, yeah, and then it's got me here. So it is a bit of a childhood dream.
It's a childhood dream. And how long did it take you to write it? Like what was your writing process and how long did it take you to write this book?
I actually had ideas for it so many times over the years. As if you've read the book, you'll be able to understand why. And it just never kind of fell into place. And I was lying in my bed one night and I just had an idea and I wrote it in my notes in my phone and I took it into work the next day and it was a bit quiet and I was like filling up a Word document on the laptop. Like, all right, okay. And then I just went from there and it took me about a year, and then the second bit of the first half of lockdown last year, to kind of get it edited, marketed, everything out there. So yeah, about a year and a half.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
not a long time at all.
it felt like a long time.
Did it? Right, okay. And how do you write during the day? Like what's your writing style? Because I know, and we've actually, do you know what the brilliant thing is? See the ladies on this call, like on the Zoom rather than watching it live, they're all writers.
Yeah, oh God, big expectations.
So, but no, but it's lovely because
I
I think
know.
there's such a support, isn't there, in the
It's
Scottish
lovely.
writing community?
There's so many people just now from Scotland that are bringing out books, and I think it's amazing. And I love speaking with everybody as
Yeah.
well. Like I know Emily as well. I've spoke with Emily quite a few times, so
Oh,
it's nice to connect with people that are just going through the same thing as you because it's a whole new world.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Right, okay. So, when did you write? Did you? Because some people say that it's only when it comes to them. It's like it comes from source, and then other people can just sit down and write. So, what is your style?
So for the first book, it was mostly just when I had time at work, I was writing the book as well, and just hammering through it, and then coming in the next day and doing the same. And I kind of got into a routine that became my workspace, but my writing space as well.
Yeah.
Although nobody knew that's what I was doing, just because I don't work for them anymore. It got me here, but now that I'm writing the second book, it's totally different. I've set up this little room in my house,
Ah,
locked myself away, and I think I've spent about half an hour in it so far. So I need to tune into this writing
you need to tune
space.
into this. So this is book two that you're working on.
Yeah.
I
Book two
mean,
is definitely harder than book one. I will say that all the time. Like it's so much more difficult.
that's it. That's really interesting, and it would be good to hear from the other writers in the group in the chat box if you feel as though
Yeah.
that's similar for you as well. Because I guess when your first story, it's like a total buzz, isn't it? And it's like all just playing about in your head, and then you've got these characters who are, your characters are really real characters. So you kind of need want to do them justice, don't you?
Well, I had Carly living in my head for years, and then she just became this person, and I think I kind of ran with it. It was so easy to write her,
Yeah.
and put her into a person. It really was. Like, I think I kind of became it a wee bit at some points in my playlists and my music, thinking I was a bad bitch. But
But then that's like what actors do, isn't it? Like when they are doing a part, it's almost like they do become the character because you kind of need to know about their mindset and their psyche and stuff like that. So that's probably like an absolute skill.
I don't know what that says for my psyche if you've read this book.
Well, she is a scary character, I'm not going to lie.
Yes, she has a bit of a nut job.
So talk to us then about the inspiration behind your characters. Firstly, talk to us about the inspiration behind the story, right? Because it's full. What I loved about it is it's full of surprises. Like
Yeah.
when I first started reading it, I was like, right, I think I kind of know how this is going to go. And then actually, no, totally opposite direction. And then again, like there was about at least 2 or 3 times, well, definitely three, maybe more times. I was like, no way.
I'm so glad you said that, because see, when I'm reading, I want to be shocked like that. I want to be like, no way was that happening. So that's how I kind of wrote it. Like, I wrote it like, would I be surprised at that? And I would have been, but
Yeah.
I also had to make sure it was kind of believable as well. But to me, it was personally, because some of the story is based on real life, but not all of it. I stress that so strongly, not all of it.
Everyone's kind of stepping back from their their camera, like, right. So talk to us about then what was based, if you can, you don't have to. What was
No,
based in real? What was based in real life? And obviously, I'm not going to like, and we're not going to specifically mention like the twists and stuff because there will be ladies that join the book club that catch up. So I don't want to do any spoilers. But what was like? What was based in real?
right, okay.
Get yourself comfy.
When I was younger, I started speaking to this guy from London online, and I was just obsessed with him, like totally
Okay.
obsessed. And this went on for a very, very, very long time. So some of the reviews and stuff I've had, like, no way would you speak to a guy for 10 years? And I'm like,
Right.
but
Interesting.
it did, and it just happened. You see catfish and all that all the time, don't you? And like when it's,
Yeah.
I actually had video conversations with this person, and I
Right.
was only 17 when I first started talking, so I was still very young, naive, and I just fell into this like fairy tale. And over the years, like we've shared dating experiences, like we've chatted as pals, and he did eventually get married and everything, and he had a kid, and I just thought, imagine I was a right nut job though and just took this to extremes.
Oh my god.
And I thought, let's write about what would happen if I did that.
So has he read the book?
Nobody does know about it.
Could you imagine?
And I have to state this, I have been ghosted once again after the book came out.
So, oh, from him.
Yeah.
Oh my. So the ghosting was true as well then.
Yeah. Oh, it used to happen all the time. Like it did. It'd come, it'd go, it'd come, it'd go. And me, just head in the clouds, was like, I love this guy. He's so hot. He's
No.
amazing. It's a fairy tale. Yeah, and it did. It went on like that for a number of years. And that's kind of where it came from. I just kind of gave it a wee nudge in a psycho direction.
Can you imagine his reaction? Like, can you imagine? Like, it would be great to be a fly in the wall, like when he's read the book, eh? Especially with
Oh.
the ending as well, because you know you're thinking to yourself, well,
That was, I'm not going to say too much, but I mean,
yep, you could
yeah,
say like the justice was served
well,
potentially.
yeah.
Right, okay, amazing. Right, so in terms of like writing a book, because I think a lot of the ladies in the book club as well, you know, that age old kind of saying that everyone's got a book in them, and it is quite a dream for some people. So to have ladies, you know, an author like yourself, and then the other girls on the Zoom tonight, you know, authors as well, it's a real like, you really respect people that do it because people talk about it and then they never in their life do it, but you guys all absolutely have. Well, how much time goes into like researching, and do you get your friends and family involved to edit your book? Because I know that I was lucky enough to read Ellie, and help Emily edit the book, which was actually a really nice experience. So tell us about that side of it.
Yeah, I definitely included my friends and family in it. I kind of need that reassurance that it wasn't rubbish type thing for me to continue. So I had a wee like book club in a WhatsApp group, and I picked like random people from Instagram really that I knew liked psychological thrillers, and I was like, right, what I'm going to do is send you a chapter every night. You just need to be honest. Do you like it? Do you not? What did you think? I was terrified to give my mum it, right enough. I was just like, oh no, girl, this is like your mum reading a full book that you've wrote, and she's thinking she's in your head then, she knows what you're thinking. That's terrifying. So
That is terrifying. And what was her response to it?
She didn't know it was based on a real story until I had a Q&A on a podcast one day, and she texted me like, so Jacob was real? And I was like, oh.
You're like, whoops.
a little bit. So it went through two processes, and I changed the cover as well.
Okay.
Just vampire. I mean, when it first came out, I was winging it. I totally was winging everything I was doing. Like, there's a thing I just learned. It's called pantsing.
Right.
And it's like you're just winging it. There's no planning. There's no structure. You're just like, let's see what happens. And that's what I did.
What's it called? Pantsing.
Pantsing or plotting.
I'm going to get like a t-shirt that says "always pantsing."
The whole book is pants. I didn't even know it was going to come at the end.
Right, because that was going to be and that was actually a question that someone sent in. Like, so did you know it? Did you plan the end? Like, did you know there was going to be such an extreme twist, or did that almost just kind of come in your writing process?
No, I didn't know. I wrote it, I changed it, I wrote it again, I changed it. And then I don't know what it was, something just made me think, do you know, this book could actually turn out to be another book. And if I do it this way, that could leave a lot open. So I thought, oh, go for it, because they're all bitches anyway, aren't they?
You know what? Good for you, honestly. Amazing, because you are left shocked, which is brilliant. Right, okay, so let's talk about the characters then. Obviously, you did have this experience, this 10-year like on and off relationship. So Carly is based on, loosely, I put that out there. Very loosely.
Oh my God, do not tell anyone that's me.
No, this is like the circle of book trust, like just in this Zoom, although it will be going on YouTube. So
it's fine, we're out there now, aren't we?
It's out there now, right? Okay, so did anyone else, obviously Jacob was inspired by the guy that you were speaking with, any of the other characters inspired by anyone else? And whilst you answer that, I'm going to put my washing machine off.
No, it was just a bit of me, a bit of Jacob.
Very strong women characters.
Yeah, it's all strong women in their own ways.
very strong in their own ways, and like male character, very well written, but you just dislike him, don't you?
I think he was easy to write because I had personal experience of a lot of the stuff he actually said.
Yeah.
So I just like exaggerated it a little bit, but not much. If I'm being honest, a lot of it I could write a book. Yeah. I could write a book on what he said.
You did as well. So there you go. Like, and obviously you, because that first book was written from almost like an actual experience. That's probably like your second one. You're like, right, where am I going to take this? Because there's a chapter that's closed and a new one's open. So we'll be looking forward to find out about that. Right. So let's, Netflix series or film, what would be your preference? That was a question that came in.
Netflix series, because when I was writing this book, I tried my very, very best to end every chapter or every other chapter on a cliffhanger, because I know when I'm reading a book, if I get to the end of the page, I need to just turn, like if I'm up all night, can't put it down. And I thought, that was like really good if that came to life as well. And I could just imagine it in a series. I actually wasn't writing it for a series, but after it, I thought that would work out quite good. So
that's well planned. I know, well planned. Right, okay. And who would play the characters? Who would you have if you could pick any actors and actresses? Who would you have?
Right, I had for Carly, I can't say her name. Her name's, is it Kayla? The girl who plays Effie out of Skins.
Right, yes, yeah. Yeah, like her, she's
Her
amazing.
name's Carly, and is it Lily Collins?
Lily Collins, yeah.
I had what's her name? It's Georgia. You so know who she is as well. I can't remember the now. And Hannah. I'm not going to tell you because that might come into something else. So.
Oh, interesting. Right, okay, brilliant. Right, okay. So, what about Jacob?
Jacob was based on real life.
So
that
he
was the easiest way to do it.
But if you had an actor to play him, who would it be?
Oh, can I give him a phone? No. Probably blocked me anyway. I don't, do you know, I've struggled with this a lot. I've had a lot of, like, I've put up polls on Instagram, I've spoke to people have said Zac Efron, Jake Gyllenhaal, all of that. I've not seen one person yet where I've thought that'd be him.
What about the guy? Do you know who I was kind of picturing? And he was in Skins. Obviously, he was a lot younger, but then he was in Our Girl and he was married to. Did you ever see Our Girl? What's his name? His name's Freddie something, I think.
Oh, yeah, no.
No. Well, do you know what? You get that because you did write it. So, okay, no.
Do you know, I think it's probably because I did make the other ones up kind of from scratch, and
Yeah.
this one there was a kind of already idea in the back, and it's hard to match a real person to an actor.
No, of course it is 100%. Right, okay. So, talk to us then about other Scottish, because I mean, like it is amazing that we've got another few Scottish writers on us. Who's inspired you? Like, what authors have inspired you? Because you know, are you quite an avid reader, and that's obviously
Yeah, I used to do like a book a week.
yeah,
It's slowed down a bit now, but I need to get back into that because it was a book a week, definite every
yeah.
without
And,
fail. I think
and
this one's just took over my life just now.
yeah,
I've not been able to enjoy.
standout authors and standout books that you've read that have inspired you. That was a question that came in.
So I actually really liked, as if anyone's read The Silent Patient.
No.
Amazing twist, loved that. Really enjoyed that. There was also a book called The Anonymous Girl. Her writing style really inspired me because it was talking to the readers rather than a lot of dialogue, and a lot of people either like that or don't like that about this book.
Yeah.
I personally like it because that's what I like reading in a book. I don't know if it's everyone's thing, but it made me feel that I was on their journey with them by just them speaking to me. So I'm hoping that kind of came across as well. But there was also another author, Philippa East. She wrote Little White Lies and the book Safe and Sound.
Okay.
Her books are amazing. She's a psychology major or whatever. She's got a degree in psychology, and she really like writes strongly with that in her books. And she was actually really lovely. I reached out to her and she gave me a lot of support and help while writing this book, and a lot of advice. And she actually read the book as well, so it was really, really, really nice of her.
Amazing, amazing. Right, okay, because there is a lot of like in thrillers, there's lots of psychological elements, 100%. Like you are, is that something that you did? Like obviously you had maybe had her support, but did you do a bit of research onto psychological happenings in the brain that would make people act the way they did in the story?
A little bit, but not really. I kind of just tapped into everybody's got a secret,
Yeah,
or they can hide something, or nobody really knows what's going on in anybody's mind at
yeah,
all. No matter what someone says, you'll never know what someone's thinking. And it just shows you that someone can be your best friend and do bad things, someone can be your boyfriend and do bad things, someone can be your girlfriend and do bad things, and you never know what they're thinking or how far it'll go. And I really just wanted to test the waters with, okay, say she went too far, what would
yeah.
happen?
Ah, I like it. Right, okay, amazing. Right. So thrillers and psychological thrillers, is that your genre, or do you think obviously book two is going to maybe be book two be in the same genre?
Yeah.
And what about, do you intend after that to write future books, and would they be in the same genre, or would you?
I would like to do a bit of non-fiction as well. I do secretly write little snippets of poetry,
Okay.
blogs, memoirs, things like that. I would love to kind of put that into something, but that's, to me, that's a lot scarier than, that's more intimate than creating a character. You're putting a lot more of you into writing something like that. So I don't think it's the time for that yet, but for writing another psychological thriller, it's definitely where I want to go, because I just want to keep giving people like books that are like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
It shocked them.
yeah,
Yep.
I've done it now, and I just want to keep going with it as best as I can.
Amazing, amazing. Right. Okay. So you launched it last October, you said?
August, yeah,
August,
August.
August, last August, sorry. And what kind of things have you been doing to get it out there? How have you, because I have seen it, it's like before, like you obviously touched base with me, but I had seen it
Yeah.
a lot on social media and stuff like that. So what type of things
That's
do you do to get it out there?
So I deleted actually my own personal social media accounts, and I just created my Instagram for the book only.
Yeah.
And I've done all my own marketing and stuff to kind of save a bit of money. Obviously, first time self-published author, you're on a budget as well. So I kind of done all that. I designed the book cover as well.
How,
And I really,
talk to us about that quickly before you carry on. How did you do it? Because it's a cool cover.
thank you. Yeah, I went through about 5 different designs. I just played about with software on the laptop and just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until this one just stuck. I
Okay.
just went with it.
Amazing. Right. Okay. So sorry, you were putting it out there. You changed your social
Yeah,
media.
I was just like posting it everywhere, just telling all my friends, all my family, they were sharing it and supporting it. And then I started getting asked to go on like some podcasts, and then if anybody was messaging me, I'd maybe send them like a wee free coffee or copy or something,
Yeah.
just to kind of see if it was kind of what the market was after. And really, it just kind of went from there. I mean, I'd done all the posts and the designs and stuff, but it was readers and word of mouth that really took off.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than I ever expected, to be honest.
Oh, that's amazing though. Like that's testament to how good the book is.
Thank you. But I've got all my newspapers framed on my wall like a celebrity.
Oh, that's a good thing to do because then you're energizing more, aren't you? You're energizing more of the same. So that's brilliant. Right, okay, amazing. Right, so I'm going to invite the girls that are on the Zoom to ask some questions as well. Because I've been talking a lot at you, and I know that these girls will probably have some as well. So, right, I'm just going to, ladies, just unmute yourself or ask them in the chat box, and I can ask them direct to the lovely Paula. So, in the chat box, Jane has said her book is non-fiction. The second book is non-fiction too. The second one is harder to get down than the first. I don't know how fiction writers can put together the stories. You're all amazing. How nice is that?
Oh,
That is so
I remember
lovely.
someone said to me, it was in a review, she must have had like one of those big boards with red string everywhere. And I was like, no, it literally just happened in my head, and I think that's terrifying.
But then it's just meant to be, isn't it? So you didn't even have to have like a big like spider diagram or anything. You were literally just like "Drrrr."
I didn't think like that. I honestly just had an idea, and it just kept coming, and it just ended up this crazy story.
Oh, it's honest. So when are you thinking about publishing the second book? Have you got have you given yourself a deadline?
No, I've not, because there's been so much pressure. I think
Yeah.
just from family as well. Like, are you writing? Have you wrote your book? Are you writing any more yet? And when I was writing the first one, I didn't have that, and I had just had it to myself, and I shared it with people when I wanted it to. And now I'm like, oh no, everybody's expecting something, and it has put a bit of pressure. But I'm not going to rush it. If it takes another year, it takes another year. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. I don't want to just fling something out just to kind of keep my name out there, if that makes sense. It's got to be the right book.
It needs to be right 100%. And I think that's the beauty as well of self-publishing because then because I guess if you had a publisher, they would be like, no, I want it on this date. And then
Well, I did have 2 offers from publishers, but it was their contract I didn't really want to go with. It gave up a lot of the effort and the hard work I'd put into it, and I'd already been doing so well with it that I decided just to keep it self-published. But I did get taken on by a media company who are going to produce the audiobook. So that's great. So I'm kind of half traditional, half self. It's a weird combination.
Oh, that's cool. So that was Nikki's question. When is the audiobook out?
You know, I don't even know. I'm chasing them all the time because I really wanted to be a part of the casting.
Yeah.
Obviously, Carly's Glaswegian,
Yeah.
Lauren's from Essex. I want those accents shown. I don't want an American accent in them because it's an American media company.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully they'll still include me in the process because I'll be really upset if they don't.
Oh, I know, surely they would. So actually, so they're going to cast it like as in different people do different, because that's
Yeah,
cool.
so they like audition people to do the parts to read the audiobook.
Oh, that's good. I like that
You
because
know?
audiobooks I've heard have only ever been like one person reading it. So that's
Yeah,
really
I know I didn't know
cool.
anything like that took place, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, amazing. Have you ever considered a fringe show on it? Edinburgh
A
Fringe show?
what?
Have you ever been to the Edinburgh Fringe?
Uh-huh.
So, like, it's obviously because it's got such twists and turns, I reckon it would be a pretty cool fringe show as well.
You know, I didn't expect it to get here, so I'm always like, what? I could do that, or it can do this. I don't know what it's capable of. I'm just kind of sitting back now and letting it happen.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Right, okay. So the publishers that you spoke of, they contacted you from seeing it on Amazon or yeah.
Yeah. Because it made the top 50
Mm-hmm.
for all psychological fiction books, which is
Brilliant.
a dream come true. Like I said, I didn't even expect to sell 100 copies, and it made the top 50, and there was big names in there. It was crazy. Like I was totally fangirling. Like, what? My book's sitting next to you.
That's amazing. I hope you took lots of screenshots.
So that's saved. That date is commemorated forever.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What's the dream on the number of copies you would love to sell? Probably a stupid question, but is there like a figure in your head that you're like, when I get to that
You know,
figure?
this is so weird you said that because I actually asked this question the other day. I've never checked my sales until last week.
Okay.
And I didn't want to know, but I'll just be sitting here like, my book's not selling. Blah.
Okay.
And I looked it up and I said to someone, what do you think? Where would you celebrate like your sales? Like, would you celebrate it at 10, 50, 100? And they were like, to be honest, like if you sold 10, like that would be like amazing for your first book. And
Yeah.
I've sold over 1,500, so
That's
that's a bit
brilliant.
crazy.
I know.
Thank you.
There's a pure round of applause there from the heroes. That's amazing. That is so, and been a short space of time as well.
Well, it's not even been a year, so honestly, I was just blown away. I literally just sat and stared at the screen like this for about half an hour.
Oh, great. Okay, amazing. Right, okay. So what is the dream then? Like what would be your absolute dream life with your writing?
Do you know, this is it. I unfortunately during the book coming out and stuff like that, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness called gastroparesis.
Oh, okay.
It's where part of your stomach's paralysed. So it's been quite difficult going through all that, writing the book, publishing the book. And it made me have to give up full-time employment as well. So the success of this book really, really helped me out massively throughout all that. And I think that's why it's so important to me as well. I never expected it to do this good, and it happened at the right time for me. And I do believe that it happened at this time because I needed it to happen at this time. And maybe now having to adapt to a new lifestyle with your health and things like that, that's what I should be focusing on, is just what I love, and it's more writing. And if I've got the chance to do that now, I'm just going to give it a go. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's the only thing that I know I'm truly happy at doing.
I mean, that's like the pure you've carved out the dream life then.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to happen like that, but it has. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to run with it for as long as I can, and as long as people like what I'm writing.
Oh, that's so exciting. And would you ever, because I know that there's been a few writers that have had blogs separate. So I know that the first, it was Claire Claire Duffy was one of the first authors that we ever had on the New Book Club as part of the membership.
Right.
And she wrote the Dark of Night series, and she had said that she had a blog that's basically, she launched that first, I think, and it was kind of psychological thriller, and she was writing about murders and stuff like that. Would you ever kind of cross over into that realm as well?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know, like, some people did have like a large like following from like their blogs and stuff before, which is amazing because they've got so many people already enjoying what they're reading. I jumped into it with no kind of backgrounds and I'm building readers up from there. And I've kind of wanted to interact with them and ask them, like, would you like stuff like that? And I used to have a blog. I kept it quite private. It was mostly just for me.
Yeah.
But now that I'm wanting to branch out a bit into non-fiction and the kind of poetry side of it as well, broaching on topics of everything, you know, mental health, all sorts.
Yeah.
I do think it's something I'll do. I've already started like just kind of dropping wee seeds. So hopefully that's something I can do as well as doing the psychological thrillers. But I don't know if I would do a psychological thriller blog. I think I need a full book for a good run at that.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right, okay. So I'm going to just double check, ladies that are on the Zoom, I'm going to just double check if there's any other questions coming in from the community. But any other questions for you, lovely lot, just unmute yourselves or put it in the chat box.
Sorry, I keep going to try and put stuff in the chat box, but I've balanced my phone, so if I chat, there is a chance it would fall.
Oh, I love it.
It's all right, I can't read it anyway. I've not got my glasses on.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So how many hours do you write a day? I'm always curious other writers, and I'm so envious. You are living my dream, being a full-time writer. Like, I'm sorry about obviously your health-wise, but like, best of luck. You'll be massive. I have never read a proper psychological thriller until I read yours. And I was just like, wow. Like, I just always like books that make me laugh. But I was gripped. Like, honestly, I was really, you've converted me.
That's so lovely. Thank you. It's really nice hearing that, especially from people like yourself that have wrote other books, because you know what I mean, we're all in it together. And if someone else like that's writing a book likes what you wrote, it means the world, doesn't it? But I'd love to tell you that I sit down every day and sit for 5 hours and don't. But sometimes I don't write at all. I really need to be just in that zone. And sometimes when I'm in that zone, I can sit for about 12 hours and I'll just go and get something to eat, drink, and just come back. But it doesn't happen every day, and it's very rare. But that's how most of my book was written, was in chunks like that. So it seems like that's happening again with this one.
Oh, amazing. Oh, well, congratulations. I'll mute myself again in case you hear the kids.
Hear the kids. This is probably a question for you, Paula, and for the rest of the ladies that are writers as well. Like, how many times do you change your story? Like you're reading it, so say you're sitting for 12 hours and you've just had like, right, I've got it, it's all coming, and then do you read it the next day? How many times you change it, or when you've been writing from source like that, is that just like, right, that's it?
No, I change mine all the time. For book 2, the first 3 chapters, I've literally went over them about 50 times, just 3 chapters over and over and over, changing little words that probably won't even make a difference. But I think sometimes that's a bad cycle to get into as well, because you're overthinking it, and that's when you really need someone else to step in and read it for you and go, stop. Yeah. Do not change anything else. And that happens with my first book as well. So I obviously have that kind of habit to break.
It's hard though, isn't it, when it's like your baby? I mean, your book is your baby, so
yeah, definitely changed. The first one changed a lot. I was throwing in people, taking out people, chopping people, cutting people, killing people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Honestly, so good. Well, there's a few ladies watching it as well, and Amanda says that she's going to be downloading it tonight. She's been really busy, but she's looking forward to reading something really good. So that's amazing. So do you know what I love as well, Paula? Because obviously, like, you've told us tonight about your illness. So thanks so much for being really honest. But it's like, you know that saying, every cloud has a silver lining. It's like you've you've made the best out of the situation, and I think that's really inspirational.
Oh,
No, honestly, I do, and I think exactly like Emily said, like that is like you deserve all the success that is coming to
thank you so much. That really means the world, because it hasn't been easy, and it's not easy. I mean, I've went 30 years of my life eating whatever I want, and now it's a whole new lifestyle and just adapting to everything and not going to a full-time job every day. And but I also think that maybe I wouldn't have got that book out there if that didn't happen. So try not to focus on the negatives and look at what I did get out of it is the way forward. But yeah, it means a lot when you say that. So thank you very much.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. Right, okay. I'm just going to double check to make sure there's no more questions. There's some ladies going to watch it on replay. So thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you for speaking to me.
No, I've really, really enjoyed myself, and to the ladies that have came on the call, the fellow writers, that's been so nice to see the support for
I
each
know, it's
other.
really nice. Thank you so much. It made me feel a lot calmer.
Oh, you're all in it together, and I can see what you're saying. Like you would be nervous about a writer reading your book because it is different. It's a different level into it. So it's
Oh,
so,
definitely. Yeah.
oh, amazing. Right. Well, listen, Paula, you, as I was saying this to Emily the other day as well, the books that were covered on the book club are always on our website. So anyone that's new to the group will get encouraged to go back and read books. But thank you. That's been brilliant. And we will definitely cover book 2 whenever it's out. No pressure.
I know, no pressure. You as well.
No pressure. And I'm saying that to the other Zoomers as well. Book 2s will be getting covered. So yeah, no, thank you. I've absolutely loved chatting to you and I feel really inspired.
Oh, thank you. Thanks everybody as well for tuning in. It was really nice to speak to you.
Oh, not at all. Right, well, so there's Nikki saying, well
you.
done, Paula, roll on book 2. Amen to
Oh,
that.
thank you.
Amen to that. Right, well, thanks so much and we'll definitely speak to you again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.